Today on Modality, I'm super excited for this one. We have Matt. He's the founder of Steel Torch Marketing, a business and marketing consulting company located here in Maryland, the Crab State. And as a consultant, he's helped grow tech companies, small businesses, e-commerce, restaurants, really everything. He's done work for the Kardashians. He's also done campaigns for Tyler, the Creator. He's actually contributed to the success of lots of over 1 million subscriber YouTubers as well. This guy is on fire. He's helped other influencers across esports and casual gaming as well. So he really spoke to us when it came to Modality, where we try to bridge that gap, create opportunities, not just for the epic pro gamers. He's here today to share some experience working in esports and consulting, help provide you guys some pathways interested in the field. I would just like to shout out real quick to everyone who's supported the show so far. We are on episode 9. It's been nothing but amazing value here, except the Gabe interview. But besides that, it's just been amazing. And the following is humble right now. So if you're listening to my voice right now and if you get at least one piece of bit of value in the show, if you're listening on Spotify, give it a follow, or at least subscribe on the YouTube Modality Gaming Podcast. Or if you are listening to me and you're not super interested, refer at least one of your friends who are into the esports or gaming field. It means the world, because the amount of value that we're providing and that I'm feeling from each conversation, sometimes the chills I get from these conversations are insane. So I appreciate all the support. It goes a long way. We're super humble following right now, but we have a lot to cover today, Matt. And we met actually through our job. We had a mutual position, and so did we just meet like during a meeting, Matt, or did we meet more so like outside of like formal meetings? Do you remember?
Wow, it feels like, it had to have been, was that before COVID? It had to have
It was right after.
Oh, like right after COVID? Oh, yeah. I don't know. I feel like did we even meet in person? I don't remember going back to the office.
Did you not go to the office once?
No, I was there like once just to like say hi. Oh, I probably saw you then when I came by to like say hi. But like after like COVID, I was like, bro, I'm trying to stay at home. I'm trying to like sleep, just hang out. But I feel like I did meet you in person once, just like when I was like visiting to like pick up like some stuff.
Potentially. It's funny because for all the work from home people, like, and that we had people that were work from home because I started right when we worked from home. So for the first 6 months, there were people I only saw on Zoom. I was in the office the whole time. But then we had people come in, and when you see someone on only Zoom and then you see them in person, it feels very surreal, like that they're like a fictional person. Like you're meeting a superhero or a fictional person. Like, wait, I thought you were only on the TV, there's a screen or a persona. I thought you were AI or something,
Yeah, no, I totally know what you mean. I even at like this new job that I started, I've never seen them before, and I feel like I'm gonna see like 2 or 3 of them like for like the first time, and then probably like never again until like, well, the job is fully remote, so I don't feel like I'd ever see them. So yeah, it's surreal.
We have I want to keep this interview under an hour. There's so much to cover. There's so many ways we could go. Your experience within marketing, I feel right now a demand that's growing isn't in any technology. It's understanding human behavior, understanding the different markets. Starting from a little back here, this might be a little further back than you were expecting. Did you have any passions growing up, like even before school? Like, was there any strength you knew even when you were super young, like 3-year-olds? Like, was there any strength that you knew about in yourself?
Oh my god.
We going way back.
This is deep, dude. This is some like Freudian analysis.
Yeah,
exactly.
going back to the beginning. I think like with any kid like in our age, like grew up like playing outside, like before like we really got like video games. But then once we like got like our hands, I remember the first game I ever played was like Pokemon. And I got like a Pokemon like Silver or like Pokemon Gold, and I was like, bro, what is this? This is insane. And it's crazy to see how like video games have like transformed to like now we have like virtual reality and like AR, and like back then we were like, it's like 10, 15 like pixels on like a small square that you can't even, it's not even backlit. You have to like kind of play like while you're in the back of the car and see like the street lights kind of come on.
You gotta tilt it.
Yeah, exactly, towards like the light. But I think video games have always been like a really central part of like my identity. Growing up, like I was a pretty shy kid. So like the fantasy genre, whether that was through TV or movies or like video games, I always thought were like, they were always worlds that you can kind of get lost in. So like, fantasy kind of genre, I was really into that. As well as like any kind of like puzzles or like riddles or like strategy like kind of like games. Whenever I got to like go to like Best Buy or something, I'd always try to buy like those like strategy like books that they give you, which are really just like tutorials of the game. But like I thought like reading about like the lore or like tips and tricks and everything were so cool. And I think like that kind of hobby just like kind of continued like throughout the rest of my life. Like whenever like I find something new, I get really obsessive over it. It's like, oh, this is super cool. I want to learn everything about this hobby or everything about like this game. And then I'll find a new game and that kind of the cycle repeats. But yeah, video games have always been around.
That's pretty hype.
Absolutely. Having that obsessiveness over stuff, the knowledge, you kind of grew up at the perfect time for the age of information, and
Yeah.
Growing up any earlier would have been like, yeah, so you got to go to the library, and that already is ridiculous, like
You can rent 2 CDs. You can enjoy like the newest Limp Bizkit, and then just kind of enjoy, I don't know, I guess like the newest Sublime.
What did they like in the 90s? Sublime? Oh, is that it? Was that the entire?
Yeah, that's it.
That's the entire 90s. No, but
That's the entire thing.
How did you? So you I assume you went to UMD. They have an awesome computer programming. But what did you major there, and how did you decide on UMD? How was your experience there?
So I applied to a bunch of different schools. Like kind of like in the local like area. There's only like a few that I applied to that were far away. But then like UMD was a school that my parents really wanted to go to, and because I live in Maryland, saves a lot of money. So I was like, oh, okay, like sure, whatever. I've never even been to like UMD before, and for those who don't know, kind of like what that is, it basically looks like a giant neighborhood. Like the buildings are just like they look like giant houses. Or something. And so I came in undecided. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like in high school, like, I wasn't super motivated to do different things. Like I like to play around, like playing like video games. Like I didn't really study that like kind of much. And then, you go to school because, that's the narrative for every other, like, every single person that's like around you. And especially coming from like an Asian culture where, education is like so important. So you have a good school, good education, good job. So it's always been kind of like that backbone. But I came into came into college like not really knowing anything, or not knowing what I wanted to do, like what I was like really, really good at, or even interested at all. So I came in undecided, and my first like year, all I did was play Smash Brothers. I didn't even go to class really.
That's a classic trap.
Yeah, right. Where we would play. We'd wake up like really late in the afternoon, and then like just play some Smash. Then we go to the diner. Then we like drink or something like that. We play some more Smash. I'd wake up and we'd find some other thing to do. So school wasn't really the focus. And then so I didn't actually even have a major until I was a junior in college. And that's, I think when I became a junior, that's when it really hit, where I was like, oh, like this is real. Like I'm gonna leave here soon. I can't just be like messing around, like playing and stuff. And then so I decided on like, I wanted to do something related to like business, or something related to like the study of like human behavior. And communication was like the one that was like there, like, like I already completed most of like the gen ed track for it. So it'd be really easy, so I could graduate on time. And then like, there was a lot of cool classes there, like communication theory, or like the study of like humor or digital design. So I settled in on communications as my major.
Classic.
That's awesome. Once you got your communications degree, did you have like what was the biggest setback your first few years after graduation? Was everything pretty smooth when it came to, pursuing your careers, or was there any insecurities you had that stopped you along the way? What were your greatest challenge after graduation?
Well, I think that the greatest challenges probably even came before, because I mean, like I was literally not going to class.
So that was like the big struggle bus.
Yeah, that was like a big struggle. Like my like GPA was like, my first semester GPA was like 1.5. Like, it was insane, bro. I'm telling you, I did not go to class. Like it's really funny. Like it got to a point where like, we'd go to like the exams of like my friend and I, and then we just draw like a hand turkey on like the back of the exam because we don't know what's going on. And so like, yeah,
no shot.
That's pretty high.
Yeah, completely like just like messing around, not doing anything. And then like once I became like a junior, and then like so like, oh hey, I need to get out there. Like I realized that like unless I switch things around, like I'm not going to be able to do anything. Because like I think what really kind of hit me was like I wanted to be like an RA, because like I was really good friends with everybody like on like the floor, and it was great. I loved like the community and stuff like that, but I literally couldn't be an RA because my GPA was way too low. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like what can I do unless I kind of like kick it into gear? So like I started commuting like to school, and then that's when I started to take school like a little bit more seriously. But like there was a lot of opportunities that I missed out on, and then like I think that was like a big kind of like setback, like not even just like a physical one, but like kind of like mentally too, because like in like the circle, like a lot of them, the people that I knew were going to like were going on internships, like they were like getting their like tech careers like already kind of started, or working on crazy projects. And here I was like just barely got like my major declared, like going into like junior year, like not knowing like what to do, like what I want. So kind of like I think that was like the biggest like kind of like setback there. But like after like I started commuting to school, and I kind of had that moment of realization, I took school like a little bit more seriously. And then so by the time like I finished, actually ended up getting ending up with like a 3.5, like 3.4, 3.5, or 3.6
Wow.
or something like that. Because there were like I was just so stressed, like I had to just kind of go in and study. And then, but I think the biggest thing that kind of shifted like my mindset of like, hey, I want to do this for like my career, was an internship leading up into my senior year of college, which was a internship at a place in LA called Whale Rock Industries.
Whale Rock. Wait, before we continue, I'm dying to know, what Smash game was worth ruining your entire first and second year GPA? We need to know.
Oh, it had to have been Super Smash Brothers Melee. Everybody like I never even played it that much. Like when I was like a kid, like you'd go to like your friend's house and they would have it, and it'd be like, oh yeah, like that's fun. But then when I got to like college, like it was super big. Like on my floor we were like one like big like family or whatever. And then when like it's like your first year of college, you don't know like anybody. And then like I just walked into like the lounge one day, and they had like 2 like GameCubes set up on this really small like CRT like in the corner. Yeah, and then there was like a huge crowd around. I was like, yo, what are you guys doing? And they're like, yo, we're playing some Smash Bros. I was like, bro, I haven't played this in a minute. And I just sat there and just like didn't get up for like 5 hours, and it was just like, oh, we played so much.
Dude.
EJ, if he said brawl,
Oh my god, that would be tragic.
canceled.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh, I hate the tripping feature in that game. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
We did play Project M though. If you guys know Project
Yeah,
M.
no,
Just
we're,
the PM?
we're hip. The Whale, or what was the company? The Whale campaign, or what company?
Whale Rock Industries.
Whale Rock. So was this the campaign? Now, this is if for those that don't know, Matt was involved with the social media campaign for the Kardashians. So what's up with that, man? How did that happen?
Yeah. That was really cool. Did you know that Kim is only like 5 feet tall?
What?
I thought she was, yeah. I thought she was like so tall. Like in like the pictures, she looks super tall, but she's like 5 foot. It's insane.
Yeah, I found that out through South Park when Kanye West called her a hobbit.
Wait, how tall is Kanye actually?
It's like
I'm looking this up.
like that.
Important data.
Oh my god, he is. He's like baby size.
Yeah, so like you think that they're both like super tall, like in all like the pictures, but it's like no, and especially Kim, like yeah, she's literally like 5 feet.
Josh, aren't you like 5'8" too?
You know, song height is just a number. We all get along here, and in fact, yeah. Talk about that internship, Matt. Yeah, let's
Okay.
hear about that.
Sure. I applied to this digital media agency called Whale Rock Industries. At that point, I was an intern. I was looking for internships for the summer. And then now I spent some time like interviewing like different people, like hearing about like their career and then what they wanted to do. And then one of those people was actually my uncle. And he worked at like this place called Whale Rock Industries, like in product management. And then he was explaining like, how like the, what he did on like a day to day. And I thought I was really interested. He said that, we might have like a, internship like available, but it's been pretty competitive. Like there's like tons of people like kind of going in there. So like they like I had to do like a few like different tests, to kind of go through. And and then like a couple like screen like kind of interviews, and it was a pretty intensive like process. And I'm sure like my uncles were in there definitely did help, which a blessing to always have like a network of people to kind of connect and talk with. But I did land one of like the 2 or 3 positions in there. And what they do is they essentially build products for influencers. And they also produce unscripted and scripted television shows and movies in Los Angeles. So I got to work on a handful of projects for influencers like the Kardashians, like help to manage like their social media profiles. Like we'd like we'd try to research like, hey, what are users talking about, like about the influencer, like what do they like, what do they not like, like different posts that we're going to be making for whatever thing that they're trying to promote, responding to the or like their fans or what have you, as well as doing some QA for the apps that they have. They had like apps on like the App Store where they did like or like they like promote like their brand and stuff like that. I also got to work with Tyler the Creator on some. He had 2 shows going on called Nuts and Bolts and the Jellies, which were 2 television shows on Viceland and Adult Swim. And that's what was going on. Have you watched the Jellies? I haven't seen it before.
Just saw promos. I don't know if it was any good or not.
I saw it and I was like, oh, that looks interesting. But then like, it's on that streaming service. And I was like, you know what? I don't think
Yeah, I you might have seen Nuts and Bolts. It's like that one like viral like Tyler the Creator video he has where like they're like making waffles in like a kitchen, and then like the girl keeps interrupting.
Oh yeah, she's like it's the weird girl. Yeah,
that seems like good content.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's Nuts and Bolts. So I got to meet him, and he's exactly how he is.
You met him.
Everywhere. Yeah. He's like, yo, what's up? And I'm like, whoa, what the heck? Yeah, Kim came to like the office too, but he's exactly like he is in his persona. He's like he's so manic. It's insane. And then I also helped him. We also helped him like with Lollapalooza, like one of the concerts that he like goes to almost every year, where he was sponsoring some like free tickets. So we got to help him coordinate like his contest and the winners. And then like what's another one that we worked? Oh, like Adam Savage, if you remember MythBusters from back in the day.
No way.
Yeah, he's really cool. He like came into like the office, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that's Adam Savage, and he carries around like a sketchbook like with him, so he like draws like his ideas, and it's like, oh my, this is like the coolest guy ever. And he had like a little hat and everything. But the company built his site tested.com, which is like centric around like his maker culture. So if you ever seen him on like YouTube where he's building like models or like props, like those all live on his tested.com brand. And then so we helped out with some like QA and like different promotional stuff there. So it was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had, like getting to work with all like those people.
Are you a sucker for being starstruck? Like, do you highly value going to concerts or even like meeting people? Or is it like, because I know there's 2 types of people: the people that are like that materialize that into being something huge, or it's like, yeah, I met them or whatever.
Not really. I mean, I was never really like interested in like influencers. I was like, oh, like they're kind of cool. But what I did see that was really interesting, like how people like treat being an influencer like almost as a business. And one quote from this guy who like the prior president who used to work there named Jared Heinke said that he treats influencers as almost like retail spaces where customers or people are kind of going in and shopping, with their time or their resources or kind of money. So you basically can, view like these influencers as almost walking stores. Where people can kind of interact, and it just exposed me to the whole world of like, and there's like some gamers kind of like in in the space too, like the different potential of like jobs that are in there, like how you can kind of like support or like help to manage or get to do something really, really fun. Like they're all very artistic, very smart. They love to try to do like a whole bunch of like different things. So getting to be like in that space with that kind of energy and that kind of like passion and being able to make money while doing that, that's what I really valued, less so than just like the starstruck kind of like vibe. It was more like, I didn't really care before, but like after seeing like the true potential of like what you can do like with them, I was like, wow, like this is awesome.
I never viewed it that way before, of celebrities being real estate, like influencers.
Yeah, it's really interesting to like think about it, because like it really helps to formulate influencer like not just like, oh hey, they're just people who create content like online, they're just posting around. Like there's a lot of people who treat it as like a business, like they're thinking of like different ways to break up like their macro content into micro doses that they could put on different platforms. They're thinking of expansion, like different brands, like what it means to be aligned with one brand or whatnot. And it's a whole like really interesting subculture that happens to people, because they're just like us, they're just like posting content every now and then, and they all of a sudden they start to pick up, and then they like some people like fail at that stage because like they don't like scale properly, but some people do like meet the right people, learn the right things, and really establish themselves and can really expand into a really cool opportunity.
Wow, I always felt that celebrity endorsements or influencer advertisements are the one thing in marketing that everyone tries to say it doesn't work, but it's proven to work time and time again.
Oh, it's crazy. I'm pretty the Kardashian sisters make around $300,000 per post.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, like whenever they like promote something like in specific, it's usually around like that range.
Well, that makes sense because they got paid $500,000. They got paid $500,000 from Fire Festival. That was the thing.
That's a whole other thing. Right?
Yeah. But before we move on, I just want to mention that it speaks volumes of the personalities of Tyler the Creator and Kim Kardashian, because when you were telling us that you met both of them, you were like, yeah, Tyler the Creator is just like that in real life. He's crazy, got that whole personality going on, and then you're like under your breath, yeah, and I met Kim. Anyway, it's like you get what you get,
Yeah. She was very, very friendly to like everybody. Like at like the workplace, like you're not allowed to. You're not supposed to like interact with them because it's supposed to be like a comfortable environment where they don't feel like it's like paparazzi all the time. But it's like they like would go like Tyler and like Kim and even like Adam like Savage, like they would go out of their way to like say hello and like greet like the staff and stuff. So like it seemed very like normal. Like you'd think it'd be like an ethereal thing where like they're not gonna even talk to you or like look at you or whatever. But they were very approachable, like very nice. It was really cool.
Absolutely. Matthew Choi, you go on your LinkedIn, okay? And one of your proudest accomplishments, it stares at you in the face. I even saw this before I started working and I stalked you on LinkedIn. You grew a YouTube page, was it 1.7 million or 2.7 million? I don't want to get my numbers wrong.
The channel that I was helping with is around at about 2.3 million subscribers right now. 2.3
million. Now, that's no easy feat, and that alone could be a wage of living. That's a way of living if you have a following that big on YouTube, which is a lot of people's dream. What's your strategy to growing on YouTube? Not looking at specific niches, but macro. How did you do it?
Mm-hmm. So really, the real genius comes from my cousin, who's actually the talent on that channel. Like if you watch like the videos, you'll see
the content
isn't me, right? And so it was like right after like I finished up my internship at that place where I was like I was really like into like influencers. I was like, oh, this is like the coolest thing like ever like in this industry. And then my cousin, funnily enough, was starting to pick up traction as a YouTuber. He actually left his college the college that he was attending to pursue it like full time on a pretty decent gamble. He had a good amount of followers at that point. I think it was like 250,000 or something like that. But like, it wasn't anything that it was, or maybe it was even less than that. But he just kept, playing like full time. And he was actually the ranked 1 player on the global leaderboard.
TFT?
For different like Call of Duty games.
Call of Duty. Okay. Yeah, I know you also were a TFT person.
Yeah. Well, he was just like one of like my friends when I was like in college. The guy who plays for Cloud9. He's just a really funny guy.
What was his name again?
K3 Soju. It's funny because my cousin's like gamer tag is K3. That's his like Korean. He goes by K3, so it's funny how it's like literally the same exact thing. But yeah, that was his established niche. He was the best player in the world for like the 3 or 4 different Call of Duty games. And I think it's like once users started to recognize that he was an authority on the game, like what was like literally like the best practices or like the best guns or the best classes to kind of run, it kind of just started to exponentially grow. He plays more casually now and like with Warzone and not as intensely as before, but yeah, he's sitting in around at 2.3 million subscribers now. And then I do help him out on a variety of projects on occasion, and but he was really one of my first like forays into managing or collaborating with influencers on my own accord. So like back then, or like at a bunch of like different points, I would help him with, coordinate some brand deals. We also grew this really amazing Discord community. We hosted tournaments. We ran giveaways. I also ran his merchandise line where we sold like, it was like 800 or 900 or 1,000 like items within like 7 or 8 days, which was pretty lucrative. And then more recently, we've been exploring a third season of merchandise. So, I mean, a lot of like the genius, a lot of like the growth and all that stuff is really coming on his end of, being like a thought leader in this space for Call of Duty, which sounds like an insane sentence, right? It's just like, oh, like, what does that even mean? But like, yeah, he's been like the best player. That was the niche he just established. He really grinds. Like there'd be days where he'd play like 12, like 18 hours, continually post content. And then like I kind of help to manage some of like that back end, at various points where we're trying to, grab new brand deals, or, if we're trying to like, connect with like the community of players, and, help build like super fans and stuff like that, or if we want to do like merchandise line. So a lot of like the business, like operations, like expertise, that comes from my professional career, was where I was able to kind of help him out and continue to help him out. And yeah, we're exploring a third season of merchandise, but I can't share any details about that right now.
Oh man, you gotta. All right, keep your secrets. We got. I have a really important question pertaining to that, because you mentioned he makes knowledge. It's safe to say he makes educational content, right? So like it's, some people get big in games, which is a little harder based on your personality, but you're like decent at the game, right? Not great. Mm-hmm. He's the best in the world. That's his qualification. That automatically gets him a following, and then he makes educational content. So I guess a two-parter, how do you leverage that content? Because you could be amazing at the game and be knowledgeable, but then you suck at content, you're not getting anywhere, right? So how do you leverage, if you're good at the game, on YouTube to get a following? And then the second part is, outside of YouTube, you mentioned a Discord community. What's most effective for gaining those followings, gaining the followers, even if it's non-converting?
Right. So there's a couple of different things. Can you say that first part of the question really quick?
Just growing the YouTube audience alone, assuming you do nothing else.
Yeah. Oh, got it. So I mean, it kind of comes it's a couple of things. I mean, we live in a really interesting time where content creation is completely democratized. So for a very low cost, almost anyone can get started as a content creator. And it's really not even just gaming anymore, right? Where you see like there's new food bloggers, or there's like board game review channels, fitness channels, even programming or, real estate channels. And so the real problem now is like, even though it's so easy to get in, but, everyone and their grandma's trying to get into the market, and it's, it's really saturated. So building an audience, like there's a lot of opportunities to build that audience, but not everybody can do it. And I think, being able to work with different influencers, working with different people who create content, and even businesses like itself, like it even comes back to, basic business principles. I think there's like 3 key things that you need to consider if you want to, rise above the rest. And I don't necessarily think that, if you follow those things, you're guaranteed to, differentiate yourself, grow your audience, be different. Mm-hmm. But I think it's 3 things that not a lot of people do when you watch certain channels. That I think are important. So the first one is going to be, just the market saturation. So like, as an example, like, in the frame of gaming, like, let's say that you're going to be playing like Warzone, everybody's playing Warzone. There's tons of like, different, not just people, but there's also like influencers that are playing Warzone, and all like the most popular, YouTubers, or in the Call of Duty or in the FPS scene are playing Warzone. So if you're going to come in and you're decide like, hey, I'm going to play Warzone, the first question is why? Like, why would, like, it's a popular game, that's for sure, but why would somebody pick a brand new person, to watch your specific content? So I think that's like one thing to kind of look out for, is like how saturated your market are. There's always a lot of like different games that are out there. There's always like, different, like, different industries, because, there are like different areas, like even outside of gaming, like you can take yourself outside of that realm and think about like, food blogging or programming or real estate. But it's like, your market saturation. So how can you definitively define your niche in a market where there is tons of different people who are doing the same type of thing? are you the best at a certain game? Are you providing some sort of value, like instructional content where somebody can learn something from you? Like, are you a channel that, you give away like a lot of things, or, are you like really, really like funny and it's like just really entertaining? And I think those are key questions to kind of ask as you're, as you decide, what kind of content that you're going to be building. Because I think a big fallacy is just like, hey, let's just jump on like the most popular game, but you're just going to be one fish in a gigantic pond where the big fish in the pond have already been doing it. So that's one thing to consider, like how saturated is the market that you're trying to accomplish, and in that market, should you decide to go for it, how different are you? Like if you were a person opening up YouTube for the first time and you saw all these different videos, why would they specifically clicking into yours? The second thing is around commitment. So like how much you're willing to kind of put in. I would say that most channels that are successful are ones that continually push out content. In the beginning, you're not going to build a lot of content. It's going to be really hard. Not building a lot of content. You're not going to have a like views. And I know that can be discouraging, but really, like, if you think about, like, even, like, my cousin, like, where he has, like, this, 2.3 million, like, subscriber channel. And when he was just kind of starting out, very low volume numbers, like a couple hundred, here and there. But all it took was one viral video. And that's what
one video. It wasn't one lucky stream. It was just an edited video.
Yeah, it was one edited video that he posted. And I see that all the time.
What's the name of the video, if you don't mind me asking?
I think it was like, I think the specific video was like looking at Modern Warfare 2 like 10 years later or something like that. And it was like just getting back into like that Modern Warfare 2 game after when there's like 3 or 4 different games that passed it.
What's the name of the your cousin again?
The Korean Savage.
The Korean Savage, love it.
Yeah, and I think if I recall correctly, it is that video. But that was like that one viral video that just brought in a lot of traction. And that's really all you need. After you get that initial bump in traction, like that's when you should be reeling in like that fishing line, really putting like pushing the gas, because like once unless the algorithm changes, like once you can see like on YouTube that a lot of these small time YouTubers who don't have a lot of subscriber count, like whether it's posting like something silly like a Minecraft video or some like short or something like really dumb, like they all of a sudden start picking up really, really fast, and you keep seeing like their channel. I forget the exact like Minecraft YouTuber channel that I was watching, but they started at 100 subscribers, and then within like a month they had like over 100,000. So like once the algorithm can detect like, hey, this is quality content that this person's pushing out, and a lot of people seem to engage with this content, they're gonna keep throwing it in front of people's faces. So it's a matter of like how long can you commit in order to get to that break point where you can you've established like your niche, you're putting out high quality content, and then at that point, after you get over that initial hump, like how can you capitalize on that traction? And I think that's where a lot of business acumen kind of comes in. So it's like something that we were mentioning even before the interview was like, oh, hey, how do you split up like macro and micro content? That's a great question to be asking, like even at this stage, like if you're gonna for lack of a better word, kind of like half-ass it, I don't really think there's a point.
Macro or micro? Half-assing editing them?
If you don't start thinking about those things, if you don't start thinking about hey, how can I scale my content, or how can I kind of do this? If you're thinking of it just hey, I'm just trying to play some games and record it, I don't think it's a productive use of time. If you really want to commit to it, and you really want it to be successful, and you really do enjoy it, you have to continually learn. Learn how to use different tools to make your videos look better. What is an attractive thumbnail to make? What are the keywords that I should be putting inside of these different videos? That's what leads everything above the rest. Because all these different people that are out there producing content, most of the time they're just people. They're average Joes who are just hey, I'm gonna record some gameplay and I'm gonna throw it up there. But the people who take it from a really strategic perspective, it's something that they love and they create, and they really enjoy doing it. They're gonna put in that work. That's why the second thing is around commitment. How much are you willing to put in to understand this market, to understand gaming, to understand your audience, what your audience cares about, what other people kind of care about. Because like those are the people who are successful. There's really no people who are out there just just throwing up a bunch of like clips of unedited footage and being successful. They don't exist. It's the people who do put in the work, and it shows. And I think as long as like you commit, you'll be successful in a variety of different ways. Maybe not. It's like you're not going to be a successful like YouTuber gamer one day, but it teaches you a lot. Teaches you a lot. About how to approach problems, how to think about things, like how to scale businesses and stuff like that. So it's really good. And so the last kind of point that I have is around intent. What
was the first one again? Second's consistency.
Like market saturation. The second one would be like commitment and consistency. And then the third one I would say would be like intent. Like if you're doing this just because like you think that being a gamer is something that's just attractive to you, like oh yeah, it would be so cool to be like a gamer.
Said no girl ever. Sorry, I'll stop.
Yeah. Right. It's just like, oh yeah, it's so it's just like so cool, or it's just like, yeah, I think it'd be like kind of like interesting to like kind of do this, or like, hey, yeah, man, I just like think like games are like fun and I play them like all the time.
That is the space. People say they're a gamer and they expect a following online just because the game's popular. So it's kind of like with girls. It's like, hey, where's the ladies? I'm a gamer.
Yeah, right. Where is it at?
Yeah.
But I think it's around like intent. Like, like if you're there because it's just like, yeah, I can make a lot of money from this thing and I just want to make like some money and like be a gamer that's like paid to play games. I don't think that you're going to be successful either. Like a lot of things that a lot of people like kind of like what happens to people is they kind of like burn out. And I think it's because like they're playing things or they're doing something they don't truly enjoy. Like kind of like you're mentioning where it's like, they're a gamer and then you're hopping on these trends, like why aren't I getting popular? Like if you're playing a game just because it's trendy and you don't really enjoy it, like it's going to be really hard for you to make content that's compelling, because people can tell when you're excited about something, when something's really interesting to you, and it'll be easier for you to create content and continually put out content, like hitting on that second point, if the reason why you're doing it is because you truly love playing games, or you truly love blogging about food, or programming, or you're really about fitness. Like you have to be passionate about the work that you're doing, not because of like the money that you can make, or because everybody else is doing it, or because it's like the new like hip trend to kind of jump on. All the people that are successful are people who have had a clear passion for that industry, or for that game, or for like that specific niche that they're targeting, and that's the reason why they're successful. Because people know, like when you're genuine, when you love it, when you like are really really into it. And so, you don't always have to be the best, you don't always have to be like, the funniest person in like the world, or like whatever. Like people can really identify passion for a subject. And as long as you're listening and, responding to that community and what's going on, like I truly think that those kind of three things really help people to get past that first wall that a lot of people just hit and end up quitting.
That's so insightful. The 3 points you made, first about, so there was consistency, there was the saturation, and then intent, right? Mm-hmm. So really knowing your market, moving forward with a plan without second guessing, being consistent, and then really understanding, looking at a mirror before you continue with this content creation shit. Am I about this, or are the expectations around me what I like? Are my parents or my parents' voice is nagging me to do something, right? Or like my girlfriend, or like this person. A lot of the time, social expectations. I'm starting to realize that this is. Tell me what you think of this, Matt or EJ. But the impact of 99% of people that fail in the space, it all really comes down to your reward system in your brain, and how, because of especially social media, but us as humans, we only get rewarded through social satisfaction, because that makes sense evolutionary wise, because if we didn't get approved of something in our past, we were cavemen or whatever, then we wouldn't be part of the pack and we wouldn't survive. So
right.
Now if we make a piece of content on YouTube and it doesn't get any likes, even if the content's actually pretty good and you liked it, you make 2 or 3 videos and then you forever quit, and then a few years later someone will be like, whatever happened to that? And you're like, oh, it didn't get off the ground, no one liked it. And then there's just settled that for the rest of their life. They sit on that. I know that might hit close to home for some people, including me, where they didn't get the dopamine from those people. So what you said is just so valuable, Matt. Like I can't, I don't. You probably realize that you just spoke the truth, but you literally just spoke the gospel to most people. That's amazing. I mean, do you have any advice for any aspiring marketers, whether it's in the esports space, casual gaming, or even online in general?
Yeah, I mean, I think, regardless of, like what industry that you're going to be in. I mean, I'm in like the marketing space or the product management space. But I think, kind of like with any job or with any venture, I mean, a lot of the times, your day job is just what's going to be paying the bills. And it's like, unfortunately, we don't live in an environment where, like where everybody like gets to do like what they want to do for like their full career. Right. But I think it's like, your free time and like, what time that you do have to explore the things that you're really interested and you're creative about and things that you want to try, I think like are what really like, defines like, like fulfillment, like, in your life. And, if it's like, time that you want to spend, growing something, or it's something that you just want to do for fun, I think regardless, like, as long as like, you feel fulfilled and you feel happy, I think that it's productive. I think my only like kind of thing that's like, that I would say is like a word of wisdom is that it's a lot harder to convince yourself to do something than it is to put up blockers and say like, oh, okay, there's no way I can do that. Like the 3 points that I mentioned earlier aren't ways like, to be discouraging where like, hey, you can't do it because of these different things. I'm trying to tell you these different tips because if you consider them, you can really, really do like what your dream or, what you kind of like want to do, like with those kind of like tips in mind. It's just kind of like extra fuel to kind of keep you going because it's almost a, I wouldn't say it's like a cheat code, but it's like helpful tips to like, get you started in your career. So I think that like one thing to consider is like, you'll see a lot of successful people, if you're producing content, you don't see a lot of traction early on, or you find some like thing that's really cool. Like it could even be a trend. Like there's nothing wrong with that, like real estate or like crypto, like NFT or any of like those other things. Like, just try. I would say like that's my biggest word of like encouragement. Like it's always a lot harder to convince yourself to actually do this something. But pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, like trying to do something or trying to make something like of yourself, like whether it's successful, like or not, like, I mean, I think even that's kind of like a toxic language to put around it, because like if you're doing something, I think that's successful.
Wow. That's pretty insightful. What about the field of esports? What excites you most about the future of esports, and where do you see yourself in that space?
So esports is really, really cool, because it's like, it's really, it's kind of like the first foray for the professional world to see like, gaming as a legitimate business career. Like, like I think like, over these past couple of years, you'll see like even like, like celebrities or like actors, actresses, like sports teams are actually, investing in these gaming companies. And then, these companies are like transcending across multiple games where, millions and millions of people, like across the world are attending and watching like these watch parties, sometimes even more than, professional like football games or professional like soccer games or like what have you. And what really excites me about like the future is like how many different like jobs and how many different opportunities that are going to be provided to people to get to work and be a part of that space. Like, when you're growing up and you're a little kid, it's like, oh, Pokemon, this is so cool. But the pathway to being able to play Pokemon is there's no path. Like you had to have lived in like Japan or something like that to kind of play. And then even like, one of the most popular games in the world, like League of Legends, like when you're going up like that like career, like when we first started playing like season 1, like season 2, like, you had to have like tons of years of experience and really was only centric around coding. But now that like, that the professional world has seen that esports is a legitimate business career, a legitimate investment opportunity because there is a market for it. Like you see that like, that the esports or gaming companies they have marketing teams, they have social media managers, they have, they have engineers, obviously, they have, it's like product managers or, they have like HR, like PR, and everything that you would see like if you were looking for a Fortune 500 company. So I'm really excited to see like all like these kids like kind of grow up like in their career where like, because I grew up and it's like I would love to be in that space, but you kind of couldn't. How many different opportunities people have to get to work on stuff that's really, really fun.
So many. And EJ, we have a joke here where it's like the EJ's curse, where League of Legends is somehow brought up in every episode. We were so close.
I didn't want to do it. I was tempted to bring it up. It's like, oh yeah, dude, like Shaq owns like a League of Legends team. It's like, but like, I didn't want to do it.
It wasn't me for once. It wasn't me.
It wasn't you.
No. Joking aside, but go further, Matt. Like, what are other careers or titles that some people never think about that people can make a living off of just in the gaming culture sphere, right? Not just being pros. Like, what are some other big
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, first, like really quickly, like instead of like a curse like League of Legends. I think me and like a lot of people have a very toxic relationship with League of Legends because you can't ever really quit. You always have to, right? But I think it's like cool because it's like how many people you have had mention League of Legends and how many people like all the decisions they've made have brought them to your podcast. Like it's unified so many different like people from such different backgrounds. So like even though like I've probably spent so much money on that game just to get permabanned, it's still
you got perma'd, Matt Choi.
That's pretty high. That's kind of bad.
Y'all heard it here first. He got perma'd.
That's bad.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to get into that.
No, we keep it professional here, just
keep it professional, but yeah, no, it's really cool to see like different people connect just because like one game that's kind of out there. But yeah, like that like future of esports and like careers and getting into it, like there's obviously like very professional tracks to get inside that. So like if you are studying marketing college or communications or you're studying programming, like those are legitimate careers and you can kind of work their way up in the traditional ladder. But let's say you're not in that, like maybe you're not in that like that walk of life where you're going through like that traditional kind of like career kind of like cycle, or like maybe you don't have like the biggest background of different things. There's tons of ways to get interested in like esports or influencers or like gaming. You can always try to reach out to like these different people that are creators and try to do something. I would say that what's been most helpful for me in growing my marketing firm is doing things for free up front for like a small amount of time because it's really around building your portfolio
freemium.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or are you not talking about freemium? Are you just talking about personal development and doing things for free for the sake of it?
Well, it can be like a freemium to a certain point. Like, you can do a freemium model, and I did use a freemium model for a while where, like, you did it free where until, like, you kind of prove to have value, and then you can have a payment model kind of come after that. But I think, like, if you can do something for free for, like, a short term and it doesn't completely kill, like, your time and, like, whatever, and it's, like, it's unfair, like, I would definitely recommend doing that just to get your foot in the door. Similarly to like how gamers like only need that one viral video to kind of get them going. Like when you're like if you want to be like a contractor or you want to work and participate like in the space just like as like a person, like you can just do that and like you could do it for free and then like build your portfolio of the different projects that you worked on. Like as an example, like when I was like first getting started like with this kind of stuff, I was in the League of Legends Discord, like the official League of Legends Discord, and I would just reach out to like the mods, like if they had any like things open, like hey can I edit like any videos for like free, or hey can like
wow, I never thought about that.
Exactly.
I never ever thought about that.
Yeah, edit like clips, or can I like help run like a contest, or like vote for help like vote or do like really anything to kind of help out because I was like an engaged member of the community.
What was your skill? Was it the editing?
Yeah, I did like they had like the I don't know if they still do it now, but they used to do like weekly highlight reels. Like if you remember like Potato Monster, like back in the day, that kind of stuff.
You did potato type shit? No way.
Yeah, where it was like like top 5, like 4, 3, 2, 1 of like the best like clips, and then like users would like and then it'd be off of like user votes. Like,
do you remember that, EJ?
Oh dude, of course, dude. What do you mean? How could I forget?
That was the boy. Yeah, that was great.
Potato Monster is my sleep paralysis demon.
Oh my gosh. Oh, he did. I mean, the logo is kind of scary. But yeah, no, like I just asked like just to help out like for free, and did that, and got involved in other like kind of Discord communities. Discord communities are like great, like kind of for like starting out, like and just like asking to do like a bunch of like free projects. Like another one, like there was like a YouTuber. that was doing like Fortnite content, and he didn't have anything crazy like 12,000 or 14,000 subscribers. And I was like, hey, like, I was part of like the that community because like some like other person like knew him, and they were like helping him out. But I was like, hey, do you need any help with like different things? And he was like, oh yeah, I actually have like this bot or I have like this like thing that I make where like I post the like what's in the Fortnite shop. So like people who are like on the go, like, and don't have access to open up the game, they can see like what's for sale that week. And I was like, oh yeah, I could put that together, like, and I looked up like how to use like Photoshop. There's like free Photoshop tools, and like I'd splice it all together so like it looked like what the thing was. So there's tons of opportunities to do like those little like small projects for like small time YouTubers. But then like as you build that like over time, and then when you do approach like a a bigger like when you approach like a company, like even on your resume, or a small time like YouTuber or influencer, you can say like, hey, these are all the projects that I've done. So don't think that like oh, the only way to get in is like if I have like a marketing degree and I move in, or I have to be like the best talent in the space. Like if you're like if you just want to like if you just reach out to people and then like try to like ask them to do some help for like free for like a little bit just to build like your portfolio, it's so easy.
Oh my god, that's insane. I never even thought about that.
On that grind set, dude.
Did you think about that, EJ? Like literally going on Discords and messaging like big brands?
No, dude. It's like some inspirational movie shit, dude.
Oh my god, man. Well, honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest with you for a second, Matt. So, let's say the Discord idea. I use Discord. We're literally using it right now to record this. But when it comes to my personal brands, whether it's my streaming, twitch.tv/GBrownie or Modality Gaming Podcast, I didn't even start a Discord yet because just anxiety. Like, I'm not the kind of person to let lack of knowledge of something stop me from doing something, but Discord's been different for some reason. It overwhelms me, and the idea of starting a community, I feel like everything has to be perfect and set. Like, should let's say, like right now I don't have one call to action. Like, so you could sign up on the podcast website to get notified, or you could subscribe on YouTube, which is like the best right now. Should the one call to action for like a podcast show be joining the Discord? And what would a Discord look like for something like this?
Yeah, no, I think that's a wonderful call to action. I think especially as you're building users, like I think the biggest, like the Discord community was like one of the first like kind of like outside traditional, like, just like recording content and posting it like initiatives, was creating like that Discord community. And the reason for that was like a key like thing that we saw was that whether you're on like YouTube or like you're on like Spotify or like Instagram, like it's almost a one-way channel of communication where like in either direction, where an influencer or like a brand is talking to like the customers in some way, and then the customers are responding back, and sometimes they'll engage like in the comments, but there really isn't something to create like a cyclical kind of like a cyclical type of like environment where they can talk about different things, and they can really engage with the product. And really what we wanted to do with the Discord community was build super fans, and like that's an industry term that you'll hear even outside of like if you're in sales, I'm sure you've kind of like heard of like that term, but like the super fans, or the people who are engaged or usually convert to do action off your things, are built inside like different funnels of people who are really engaged. So our super fan funnel was the Discord community because it provided a platform for all the users to connect with one another. They could play together, they could like they can connect with like the influencer, like it's like think about like if you could talk to like Kanye West or like Kim Kardashian or what have you, you could talk to them in like a very close-knit kind of like community. And it really like transformed from like it wasn't just a space where people were like interested in that YouTuber. It was a community of people who like would come to that community just because they like the relationships they created in there. So you'll always have people who are talking about you, talking about your company. You have a home for people to like talk about their interests, their life, or what they're kind of going through, and you have a direct communication channel with your with like your people at all times. So like if you think about like trying to get feedback on like a YouTube video of like what you kind of want to see, like you kind of put it out there, and it's like maybe they'll kind of comment, but like if you're in there like in that day-to-day like talking with them, like hey, like what content you kind of see, it's like they almost feel like that they have an invested interest in the success of the YouTube channel. Like they are like part of the experience that you're building for all these people out in the world, right? So I would highly suggest like once you get like a regular kind of amount of traffic, and even if you only have like 10, 20, 30 people in there, like engagement is the most important thing.
Hey, that's us.
I mean,
It's perfect because think about it, like like those people continually talking about like your content. They'll be like, hey, can I invite my friends to this Discord because I like talking with these people kind of in there, and that can also help build some of that viral marketing for you like internally because like they'll invite your friends to like that Discord, they'll talk about things. And then like you can push notifications like for your content, run surveys, you could do giveaways kind of like in there.
Giveaways.
So having a place for your customers or your users or viewers to kind of communicate not with just you but with each other really helps to grow like some really great stickiness inside.
Wow, like there's no really words to describe. I mean, that's super transformative. I mean, you just literally built a business like with words. So that was pretty incredible. But we can go down this rabbit hole, but I do want to start wrapping up this conversation for the sake of time. I mean, this has been incredible, and I want to keep it relatively bite-sized. But EJ's been cooking up something very, very quietly over there, and I have a feeling it has to do with something called the lightning round. Have you heard of this, EJ?
I actually I'm just get out my weather-ometer. Let me check the temperature.
Yeah. You checking the
very
temperature?
Moist out today. Very
moist.
A lot of water in the air. Getting some clouds developing.
Well, what usually happens along
clouds.
with clouds and heavy? What usually happens?
I've seen some lightning. Some thunder.
Lightning around. All right. So that's the intro. Okay. So we got some fire questions for you, Matt. You think that you're the master, that you know everything. You're the master of knowledge, product manager. Okay. You think you can tackle all these questions, but we got some real hard ones that might throw you a curveball. Okay. You ready?
All right.
All right. Here we go. So first of all, we've asked this to everyone so far. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
It's an absolute truth.
Oh my god.
Wait, do you mind if I... Wait, Matt, do you mind real quick if you deafen us real quick? Just 1 second.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just deafen yourself. EJ, wait, did you invite him on? Who invited him on?
Oh my god.
What do we say?
Oh, what? Oh, sorry, no, you guys deafen. I hope you guys weren't talking slander about pineapple on pizza.
Oh, don't worry. I just feel bad for his parents.
Yeah, I just feel bad for I feel bad for the parents.
That's just.
I think it was like an upbringing kind of thing, we should. Yeah, we should probably stop now before he realizes something's wrong. All right, you can undeafen now. You're good.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's up, man? Sorry, we just agreed with you totally. That's an awesome. All right, your turn, EJ.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm next to my compatriots here.
Awesome, your turn, EJ.
Classic. Okay, so I've been wondering, yeah, is there like any unique difficulty working with influencers? Are they like more difficult to work with than like other people? Do you think?
Yeah, I would say that's an absolute truth. Because that's the only thing that I would say that makes it a little bit tricky. Because you got to also realize that most of the time it's like people that are like us, like basically, like kids or like young adults. Who haven't experienced growing a business kind of like before, and it's like they're just people who are producing content, and at a certain point they just start to build traction. So I think like sometimes you'll find a challenge with bringing in business acumen or kind of like provide like like different scope or like different advice, because it's like for them like they also haven't had that experience before, like growing a business or being part of like some like or scaling things or thinking about it in a very like analytical way. For some of the time it's people who love and are really passionate about content and have just been growing steadily over time. So I would say that it is definitely a challenge working with some influencers, but like try to find people that that you're interested in, that you think are like great. Like I don't think you should just beat yourself up for somebody who doesn't want to listen to like your ideas or doesn't want to do X thing, just because you want to get into that space. Like obviously like they should be respecting you too and like your ideas and stuff like that. It should be both ways. And I think something to just kind of consider is that even though these people are like these influencers and have tons of traction, they're also people just like us, who might have not done these different things before. So just keeping that in mind, I think is helpful.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's gotta be both ways. All right. All-time favorite video game and all-time most overrated game in your opinion?
Ooh, that one's kind of hard. So my all-time favorite game is actually MapleStory.
Ooh.
MMO from back in the day. It's not really that active like anymore, but I don't think I've ever experienced that type of feeling when playing a game before. Because I used to play in the summer for like 12 to like 16 hours a day. Like I would bring my laptop and sneak it in late at night all the time. I've made so many different like friends, so many like cool like different people, and oh my gosh, it was like one of the coolest things I've ever experienced. Like, because coming from like Pokemon like Emerald, like I think I was in that same kind of like game to like a desktop experience, full on like side scroller platformers with like all those cool effects. MapleStory is the greatest game of all time for me. Most overrated game for me was Among Us. Because like I think it was like for me like it was a game that I already played like a bunch. So like like Mafia, or it was essentially the same format for me.
Town of Salem? Are you hip to Town of Salem?
Yeah, like Town of Salem. Yeah, I played like that like a bunch, and it was like great, and you had like communication channels. But I mean, I think it's like a cool idea to kind of bring it back. But I think that for people who aren't on like a call, it's like it's way too much to kind of communicate in that chat with that amount of people. And like if you're in a call, I think it's really easy for like people who are like quieter to not get that experience from the game. So I think like if it was more consolidated, I think it'd be awesome. But for me, I just wasn't really into it, even though a lot of other people were.
So why did it blow up?
Well, I mean, I think it's kind of like it's kind of, you'll see that a lot of different games kind of repackage things in like a brand new way, or like in a similar way, or just in a slightly like different skin. And I think that because it was such an accessible game where anyone could kind of play like on like the phone, and get kind of engaged. It was a really kind of like low effort game to play, where like you didn't need to be a gamer. It was like a party game that existed on your phone. Or like on your desktop or what have you. So I think that's like what I thought was really great about it, with how many people it brought into like gaming that wouldn't traditionally play games, but just wasn't for me.
It is also easy on the eye. The designs, I feel like it's very like iconic.
Oh yeah, those guys are cute. The little astronaut people.
Yeah, the astronaut people. I mean, they're going to be announced for Smash tomorrow at October 5th, so you might as well get ready for that, Matt.
Yeah.
Did you know that they're announcing the last Smash character ever in the series tomorrow?
Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow. Oh wow, tomorrow is Tuesday. Yeah.
Awesome, EJ, your question.
Do you have any ideas? Any picks?
Yeah, you might as well ask. You can ask that either.
Yeah. Who do you want to see in Smash?
Oh, who do I want to see in Smash?
Yeah, who do you want to be the last one?
Oh, I'm hoping it's Sora.
Ooh.
Or Waluigi.
Okay, hold on. Two things. One, we have 10 million anime sword fighters. We're gonna get another with a key instead.
No, it's a keyblade, Josh. Is different.
It's not different. It's a sword object. What? It's a sword?
No, dude. No, look at a picture of a key. Tell me that's a sword. It's not, dude. Come on. Yeah.
Okay, does it do like... What does it do in the game? He hits it like a sword.
No, it's more like a hammer, kind of.
Yeah. It's different.
Yeah, it's like a blunt. Yeah.
And you don't actually want Waluigi, right?
Bro, I honestly, he kind of deserves it. Not that I really want to see him there, but he's been suffering for a while on the sidelines. Like, I gotta give him some credit, man. It's everyone's here. Really? I don't know.
I like it when Waluigi feels pain and isn't in like emotional distress. Like I'm glad to see him lose. I'll say it.
Who do you guys want to see?
Dude, I want to be honest, dude. Phoenix Wright,
Who?
You know Phoenix Wright. You know. Yeah, you do.
Oh, Phoenix Wright. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And dude, I think, dude, the disaster scenario, dude. Imagine purple guy in the Smash, dude.
Who's purple guy?
Oh my God! Hold on. Hold on. I'll pull up the picture.
Purple guy. Do you know what he's talking about, Matt?
Is that a Phoenix Wright thing?
Wait, like the guy from McDonald's, the fat purple thing.
Oh, yeah, Grimace. Actually, yeah, it is Grimace.
Are you talking about Big the Cat?
Oh no.
Oh, from Five Nights at Freddy's.
Dude, so I hope. Imagine.
Oh no, Freddy Fazbear is the only like thing that could potentially happen from that series. It'd be Freddy Fazbear. But I think I don't know. They could do that. They really could. I think we should all say our top 3 because tomorrow it's going to be announced, and I'd love to reconnect with you, Matt, to see if you're right. So you have Sora, and what are your other 2?
I mean Waluigi. At that point. I can't even think. Unless they go like crazy and they just like sync up with a whole another like game or like industry, like I think that could be really cool. Because like Kingdom Hearts, for example, isn't a Nintendo property, right?
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Yeah, so like I think it'd be. I couldn't even like fathom like who they would kind of like pair up with that's outside of there. But I think somebody from like another like old like classic like game like Like it'd be cool to see like Jack, even like from Jack and Daxter.
How come no one talks
no
about
one
that?
knows-
Wow.
Yeah, no one's ever played that. But like
That's a
that
cut.
Ratchet or like Ratchet from Ratchet and Clank or somebody from like another like Sony or like.
I could
Japanese
see them
Sony.
doing Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
That could be cool. It'll be almost like Banjo Kazooie, where like like where Clank has like actions too.
Yeah.
That'd
And you had what are your two more, EJ? You had Phoenix, right?
You know what? I'm just gonna say it'd be really funny if we just got like a Koopa in the game. Like just green Koopa. That's my pick.
Green Koopa rolls off the ledge into the fight.
I'm sure.
Right.
And then like last pick, like free space, anything goes. Any Pokemon.
They would not. It'd break. They wouldn't do another Pokemon. That'd break the.
No,
game.
I if they do another Nintendo character, it'll be a Pokemon.
Maybe.
It'd be cool to see Cooking Mama.
Imagine.
Cooking Mama. I really hope it's a non-human character because there's too many. I feel like the game's saturated with a bunch of like human protagonists, which is pretty cool.
That's fair.
Which I know is like it doesn't matter. I just feel like a lot of the DLC was human, like anime type characters. Top 3, I'm gonna be completely truthful. Master Chief is number 3 from Halo. He deserves his space. If we're talking like credibility in games and icons, he's probably the biggest icon that hasn't been put in yet. He's Master Chief, and there's already explosions and guns in Smash, and Joker wields a gun if you press B, so obviously it's a no-brainer. The second one should be a League of Legends character. League of Legends is, and we already broke the curse, so I don't give a shit. It is the largest played video game in the world. You said it earlier, Matt. It brings people together. There's a lot more than that. League is the most competitive played game in the world. Teemo, Katarina, or Yasuo should be a character in Smash. If we're talking credibility of like deservingness. I used to say Overwatch, but with the Blizzard stuff recently, nope, we're not gonna do Overwatch.
No. Yeah.
So my third favorite and highest pick for Smash by far is Crash Bandicoot. Let the man in. Let the man in. Are there any other furry mascots left? Because furry mascots define games. And then like who else?
I mean, Sonic's already in there.
Yeah, well, it's honestly like Sonic and then Crash.
Okay, but imagine Shadow. Imagine Shadow.
Oh my God, Sonic and then DLC or what's it called? Shadow. Echo Shadow. Yeah, that would be cool. Wait, what the hell? They already have Sonic. What am I saying? No. Yeah.
Dude, they put Sonic in Smash, guys.
All right, so I wrote down our 9 guesses, so we'll see if that gets the spread. But knowing Smash and Sakurai, it's not going to even be close. So super excited for that. Yeah. But Matt, we are running up on about an hour here, so I want to keep this brief. And our conversation's been amazing. My last question to you, do you have any last minute questions, EJ?
Nothing that we haven't covered already.
Perfect. Yeah, nothing that's super important. Like you mentioned that Waluigi was trash, so we already got that out of the way for you, Matt. So you're good. Do you have anything to plug? What do you have to promote? I know humble following right now, but where can people stay in touch with you or follow your communities?
Yeah, you can always find me like on LinkedIn. It's like Matthew Choi like _11. If you have any like professional like questions or even personal stuff too, kind of use it forever. That's probably the best method of communication, I'd say. I don't know if I have necessarily anything to kind of like plug because I think like even in my business we're still in very much like a scale or kind of like
puppeteer kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I think like if you guys take away anything as like a final thing to kind of like plug is just like a word of encouragement for the people who are out there trying to get into the space or trying to try or do different things. Like as long as you're like trying to do like stuff, I'm excited to hear what you different people out there get to do. And tell me about it on LinkedIn.
Hell yeah! If we inspire one person, this whole endeavor was worth it. I'll be honest. I told myself that at the beginning, but because for this podcast it doesn't count because you just impacted me and my perspective on things, and probably EJ too. So yeah. I never viewed celebrities as real estate, but that's how it is, and we already know that. But the way you worded it was like really insightful, and plus, just the 3-step model of first especially for like this is big for streamers, like saturation, and then
sure.
being consistent and confident in yourself, really stabbing in the dark. One big thing I learned at Cybrary, especially when you were working there, is like it's awesome working in just like a startup because you really get to see the personal challenges when it comes to finding the niche, and then even if you found the niche years later, like adjusting marketing and like the whole point is you have to throw a dart in the first place. You throw a dart, it lands somewhere, and then you use data to get that dart closer to the center, you know? A lot of people are too scared to throw the dart.
Yeah, you gotta throw it. You gotta throw it.
Matt, it's been a complete honor, man. Really appreciate it. A lot of respect.
Absolutely, it was great. Thank you for all the great questions. Sorry for all those rambling, just kind of going off the cuff. But you guys are awesome. That was really, really cool.
Awesome. All right, folks. That about wraps it up. That's modality number 9 with Matt Troy, marketing in the esports and YouTube space legend. Peace out. I don't care how you're listening right now, if it's on modalitypodcast.com, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Do yourself a favor and join the Modality Gaming Discord. It's brand new, and that's your way of subscribing to the podcast and getting involved with the community. In there, you'll be able to talk to me or EJ regularly, ask any questions for future podcast guests, and we're going to start doing giveaways. To be honest, we only have 10 subscribers, so to be completely transparent, if you join right now, you're super likely to win a gift card for free or some shit. It would be stupid not to join. In fact, if you're driving right now, pull over and do it, or tell Siri to give you a reminder or something. Discord is on the website, modalitypodcast.com, and have yourself a damn good one.